when it comes to making your offers, it's always very useful to be able to leverage technology to ensure that you don't make any mistakes. So what tends to happen with the vast majority of property investors when it comes to making their offers is they do it in one of a couple of ways. Either they try and make an offer based on the asking price, thinking any discount from the asking price therefore makes it a good deal, which is by far an extremely flawed method because the asking price has no actual bearing in terms of the value. As an example, I could have a house that's worth 100,000 and I could put it on the market for 150,000, knowing full well it probably won't sell, or having been told by the agent, oh yeah, we can get it sold for that when they buy some business from me. And then if somebody thinks, oh well, I've managed to buy it for 125,000, what a bargain, the reality is they've still lost a lot of money. So that's the first way in which people tend to make offers. Please do not do that. Okay, the second way in which people tend to make offers is they have an understanding of what the value of the property is, and they work their way backwards based on their deal criteria. So some people might say, look, it's worth 100,000. I want to buy something where I get a 5% discount. They'll deduct their refurbishment costs and then knock off the 5%. They'll make their offer based on that. And they'll go, okay, great. I've managed to get this as a 5% discount. I'm really happy, which is fine. And this is a very normal way in which a lot of people will make offers. Another way, which is a way that I tend to prefer, is an offer based on your returns, okay, or your yields, which is another way in which people will do it. And what you're doing is you're going to be flipping the calculation backwards based on the yield requirement or based on the return requirement, exactly as we discussed in our previous videos in this section and one of the other sections. And by calculating backwards, it then enables you to make the offer to achieve the return requirements you're looking to achieve. Of course, you need to make sure of the values and the rentals and the refurb costs and all the costs of all your professionals to make sure that offer is accurate, but it will give you a really good indicator of how to make your offer. The important thing, however, is to be able to leverage technology to really streamline that process. So what most people tend to do is they tend to work this out every time. Okay, well, this is my cost for this and this is my cost for this, and work that figure all the way back to getting up with their maximum offer. For me, I much prefer to use technology to do this and make it much quicker. So one way in which you could do this is you could use a simple Excel spreadsheet and you run all your calculations through there. You have the figure, and then you know if I plug in this, this, and this information, then it will give me my maximum offer, which is everything I need. And typically the information you need that is not static. So static stuff will be your lending rates and your loan to values and your brokerage fees and your legal fees and all that. Your non-static costs will be things like the purchase price, the value, the rent. Those tend to be your really big non-statics. And of course, your stamp duty will calculate off of your purchase price, etc., etc. Okay, which then enables you to then, by filling in those three items information, gives you your maximum offer figure, exactly as calculated out previously. So that's one way in which you could do it. However, please know that if you make a mistake on the spreadsheet, it has the potential of costing you a lot. So please, please, please triple check those figures. Another way, which is the way in which I personally prefer, is we use what we call the Trust Brick system. Now, the Trust Brick system as of today is usable by users to be able to go and find deals. Obviously, at some point, we're going to be moving it into where you can just gain access to deals on there. But for now, you can actually find deals, or at the time of this recording, you can actually go on there and find deals yourself. And what the system will then do is we'll plug in all of the relevant information for you and give you your maximum offer price to achieve the return requirements you've set in the system. So using technology to be able to make your offers is extremely powerful. Not only does it give you the confidence to be able to make your offers knowing that your figures are accurate and correct, it also speeds up the process so that by the time you leave the house, within the matter of a couple of minutes, you're already prepared to be able to make your offer and progress with that purchase, which gives the agent a lot of confidence that you know what you're doing. Now, off the back of this section, we're now going to be moving into the next section, which is called the pre-purchase process. And the pre-purchase process is essentially a series of all of the events that need to take place from point of getting your deal agreed, which is part of this section, is to make your offers and get your deal agreed, all the way through to actually post-purchase once you've bought the house. And there's a whole bunch of steps that you need to take between here and there. And in the next section, we're going to be covering those in depth. So covering things like due diligence, covering things like setting up with the legals, with which surveys to take, how to structure them, how to pay them, what information you need to look for. So it's an extremely powerful section. If you miss any of the items in the next section, there is an extremely high chance that you're going to not just lose money, but also lose time and potentially lose your deal. I highly urge you check that section out. It will really help you move forward with your future purchases.